Okay, so we're going to do two more examples of finding our equation using this method. So the first thing you want to do is you want to find your slope on your graph. So find slope, write this down. Okay, so it means you need 2 points on your graph to find your slope. I'm going to use these 2 points and I'm just going to count because I know for me that's faster right now. So we get 5 over 1. So right now I know my slope is 5 over 1. I can also just write 5. And the second thing I need is I need a point. Now generally for these problems I like to pick points that are smaller values. Sometimes if it's possible I like to pick points that are just positive because it's easier for me to do the math. So I'm actually going to be picking this point, which is 12 and 2. So I'm going to write that point in this box here, 12 and 2. And just for my sake I'm going to label it x1, y1 so I know what I'm doing. Third step is I'm going to write down the form, which is y minus y1 equals our slope m times x minus x1. Okay, so that's the first two things. Find your slope, find your point, and then write your equation. And the next thing you're going to want to do is you want to plug everything in. So instead of y minus y1, I'm going to write y minus 2 because I know y1 is 2. I'm going to write 5 times x, and I put the 5 there because that's our slope. And our x1 is 12, so I'm going to put minus 12. And then I'm going to solve. I'm going to distribute. So we're going to have y minus 2 equals 5x minus 60. And then I'm going to get the y by itself by doing the opposite. So right now we're subtracting 2 from y, and I want to do the opposite of that. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And I get y equals 5x minus 58. And for our very final thing, what I want to do is I just want to say what the y-intercept was because we didn't know before. The y-intercept, now that I can see it on the equation, is 0, negative 58. And if you look back at our graph, the reason we had to use this method is because if you look here, there's no y-axis on this graph. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means they didn't have it on this graph because we are zoomed in on a different part of the graph. So there's no way for me to tell what the y-intercept is. But now I know it's negative 58, and the reason I can't see it is because it's way down here.